Have you ever wondered why some people command respect the moment they walk into a room? They're never interrupted. Their time is never wasted. People listen when they speak. And here's the brutal truth. It's not because they're smarter, richer, or better looking than you. It's because they've unlocked a psychological power that most people never will. A power Machiavelli exposed 500 years ago. A power that flips the game, because the more you try to be liked, the weaker you become. But the moment you stop chasing approval and start commanding respect, everything in your life changes. Say it with me in the comments. Respect over approval. The hidden weakness of being liked. Think about this. Someone cuts in front of you in line, you stay silent. A friend cancels on you for the third time, you smile and say, "It's fine." A co-worker steals credit for your idea, you let it slide. You think you're keeping the peace, but what you're really doing is training people to disrespect you. Machiavelli understood something most people still don't. When others sense you need their approval, they own you. Desperation has a smell, and once people catch it, they treat you like you're disposable. The more you try to please, the less people actually like you, because human nature is simple. We respect what we can't control, and we dismiss what comes too easily. Think of the people you respect most. Are they desperate for your approval, or are they the ones perfectly fine without it? Machiavelli wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." Fear doesn't mean terror, it means consequence. When people know that crossing you has a cost, they treat you differently. So here's the shift. Stop chasing approval. Start making it expensive for people to disrespect you. Drop this in the comments. I choose power. The dark power of respect. Respect isn't built on being impressive. That's admiration. Respect is built on one thing: consequence. When someone crosses your line and you let it go, you've just trained them that disrespect is free. But when you respond with clear consequences, access denied, energy withdrawn, time cut off, you instantly teach them to think twice. Imagine a teacher who lets every student talk over them. No respect. Now picture the one teacher who enforces silence with a single look. That's the difference. The nice guy who tolerates everything, he becomes safe to disrespect. And once you're safe to disrespect, respect becomes impossible. But when you flip the script, when your time and attention are treated as rare, when people know they could lose access to you, suddenly you transform into someone they don't want to cross. That's the dark power of respect, and it's magnetic. Drop this in the comments. My worth isn't debatable. The psychology of control. Every interaction is about control. Who sets the frame? Who dictates the terms? Who decides how far things go? Approval seekers hand over control without even realizing it. They laugh at jokes they don't find funny. They say yes when they want to say no. They hide their real opinions just to keep the peace. And here's the danger. When you need approval to feel okay, you've basically handed someone the remote control to your emotions. Picture a woman testing you on a date. She says, "You probably say that to all the girls." Most men panic and over-explain. The man who commands respect, he just smirks and says, "I don't say much." No defense, no scrambling, he keeps control. Or imagine someone texting you and then leaving you on read. The desperate man floods them with double texts. The man of power. He goes silent, maybe even posts something that shows he's moving forward. He lets absence do the work. This is what Machiavelli meant when he wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." When you stop performing for approval, you become unpredictable, and unpredictability is power. Drop this in the comments. I control my worth. The addiction to approval. Approval isn't just a bad habit, it's an addiction, and like any addiction, it's used against you. A compliment, a like, a little validation. Your brain releases dopamine, it feels good. But then you need another hit, and people around you quickly learn how to control you. Want you to work late? They praise your work ethic. Want to borrow money? They call you generous. Want you to excuse their bad behavior? They butter you up as understanding. They're literally hacking your brain chemistry. Here's the brutal truth. Validation is cheap to give, but expensive to need. Anyone can throw you scraps of approval, but if you depend on it, you'll bend over backwards just to feel good about yourself. Meanwhile, people who don't need approval, they're impossible to manipulate. Compliments bounce off them. Criticism doesn't move them. And ironically, Their authenticity makes them respected more than any people pleaser ever will be. Drop this in the comments. My validation comes from within. Machiavellian rules to command respect. Now let's get practical. Here are the Machiavellian rules that transform you from being overlooked to being respected without saying a word. Rule 1. Speak less, act more. Stop over-explaining. When disrespected, don't argue, just enforce consequences. Rule 2. Never chase approval. If someone is cold or distant, don't beg for their attention. Indifference is more powerful than chasing. Rule 3. Stay cold and calm under attack. If someone insults you, don't flinch. A calm smile is scarier than anger. Rule 4. Stay unpredictable. Never let people fully map your moves. A man who can be both kind and ruthless is untouchable. Rule 5. Enforce boundaries swiftly and silently. Don't threaten, don't explain, just act. Machiavelli wrote, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be both a fox and a lion." That's the formula. Strategic when necessary, strong when required. Drop this in the comments. I am unmovable. Scarcity and distance as power multipliers. Here's a principle most people never learn. Availability kills value. When your time, attention, and forgiveness are unlimited, people stop appreciating them. But when you make them scarce, when you choose carefully who gets access, suddenly your presence becomes priceless. Think about the people who hold real social power. They don't show up everywhere. They don't respond instantly. They're selective. And that scarcity makes every interaction with them more valuable. This is why the most respected men often seem slightly detached. It's not coldness, it's clarity. They understand that energy spent on everyone is wasted on no one. Machiavelli wrote, "Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few really know what you are." The less you reveal, the more people wonder. And curiosity creates gravity. The transformation. What happens when you stop chasing approval and start commanding respect? Your relationships change. The manipulators leave, the real ones stay. Your confidence skyrockets because your worth isn't up for debate. Opportunities flow to you instead of you chasing them. And most importantly, you become psychologically free. Free from the exhausting cycle of begging to be liked. Free to be your true self, no mask required. Machiavelli said, "It is not titles that honor men, but men that honor titles." Respect doesn't come from what people think of you. It comes from what you refuse to accept. So here's the final question. Are you going to keep begging to be liked, or are you ready to step into the dark power of respect? If this message hit you, drop the final affirmation in the comments. Respect is my birthright. And remember, in a world full of people desperate to be liked, the man who doesn't need approval holds all the power.